Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today, as this is a live visual of what's going to happen if XRP does not hit new all-time highs this bull market. We're all heading to McDonald's. And then once we get there, AI will replace us. But ladies and gentlemen, do not fear. El Toro Loco is here. As over the past week, I've been dodging hurricanes, analyzing election bullshit, and ensuring that we get the right content. Guys, there is too much content in the world right now. Most of it is lies, some of it is AI, and the rest of it is a distraction to keep you poor, keep you a slave in the matrix, and ensure you do not become the new 1%. But right here, let's break down everything you've missed and everything you need to make sure you stay ahead of the game. First of all, we see that Elon Musk has addressed whether or not XRP will be used in the financial system directly. And thank you for that individual for asking Elon about XRP. What you're going to see from this clip is that he can shill Doge at the top of Saturday Night Live, but when given a legitimate crypto and an opportunity to discuss it, he prefers not to endorse. Notice how he chooses to answer. He looks nervous to say the wrong thing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time Elon has been addressed about XRP. And the more and more we continue on this XRP journey, the more mainstream we're gonna get.
Given how punitive the SEC has been towards crypto under this administration, do you envision the XRP ledger being incorporated into the financial institutions in the future?
Well, I certainly cannot speak to any specific crypto, but I do think that the sort of cryptocurrency is an interesting and probably valuable bulwark against a centralized control. This is definitely not an endorsement or lack of endorsement for XRP, but I do think crypto, by its very nature, it helps with individual freedom.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about all of you, but to me, that is progress. For a lot of people, they saw this news about Chris Larson donating to Kamala Harris, and they're putting their politics ahead of their investment strategies. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very well aware that the Democrats have been the anti-crypto army, with Elizabeth Warren getting annihilated by John Deaton, by the way, which we'll get into. But Chris Larson is probably looking at everything going on and saying, these politicians just want money. And what's going to happen is that both Trump and Kamala, Trump being more pro-crypto overall and Kamala being paid by Chris Larson right now, something tells me that either outcome, regardless of who wins, will be positive for XRP. And as an investor, that is what you should be looking for. That is what you should want. Politics aside, that was good strategy. And here, we're also witnessing that crypto donations for the 2024 elections has surpassed 190 million. This is the difference in the bull market in 2024. Now politicians are being paid by the crypto lobby. Now we have a crypto lobby. And man, those pocketbooks are about to speak loudly for retail investors that got in early. Don't you forget it. We are ahead of the game. Now, not only has Elon Musk mentioned XRP for the first time, but here Elon Musk openly endorses John Deaton against Elizabeth Warren for her Senate seat. John Deaton has been annihilating Elizabeth Warren in their debates, even bringing up the Epstein flight logs. Ladies and gentlemen, this is massive. And this is the political shift in the American government we are watching right now. The Democrats have overplayed their hand, and the people are watching, as Brad Garlinghouse posted just a couple weeks ago that Commissioner Ueda from the SEC themselves have called their crypto approach a disaster. Regardless of who wins, I'm telling you right now, crypto will go parabolic. We saw Donald Trump's administration catalyze a crypto bull market in 2017, and also Joe Biden's in 2021. I have no reason to believe that that's going to change with whoever gets selected.
Well, it's great to be here.
What is the SEC doing regarding crypto?
Well, I think our policies and our approach for the last several years have been just really a disaster for the whole industry. We have been setting this policy through enforcement. We've done nothing to provide guidance on it. And as a result, this is being shaped by the courts. And different courts have ruled different ways. I think what this Wells notice is, and while I won't comment on the specifics of this litigation, the Wells, what has gone on is part of a broader frustration with the fact that we have not provided interpretive guidance as to what you can and cannot do. And if you are involved in some sort of securities offering, how you register, how you get regulated as a broker-dealer, how you get registered as an exchange.
Now, since I've been away for a little bit, we have to really recap and see how much we've missed. Anders Lundberg posted on Twitter that Robinhood has purchased Bitstamp a couple months ago. And then an article from Cointelegraph showed that Robinhood's chief legal officer is set to replace Gary Gensler as head of the SEC under Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, it's looking more and more every single day like a pro-Trump administration will be pro-crypto. These are the moves you need to look at. Candidates are just puppets. Most of it is just for show. What really matters is the people they delegate and select to be part of their administration, and how that works and trickles down to the average Joe. Guys, this is a very interesting development, because as the SEC is losing more and more power, Ripple continues to build. Ripple expanded their custody business to offer bank-grade services to crypto firms a couple weeks ago. And they've been going off discussing these custody solutions in tandem with real-world asset tokenization for a while. The way I personally view what Ripple is building now is simply not just a cross-border payment solution. And it's not just tokenized assets or DeFi. It's about being a large player in building the new banking infrastructure for the coming decades. And all these products are just part of that vision. Custody is the foundational piece to that strategy. Custody was the biggest limitation to the last bull market. And here, this bull market, the big boys are making their custody solutions. And Ripple has stepped into being one of the big boys by completely handing the SEC the business. Ripple is a huge holder of XRP, so they're financially incentivized to push XRPL as much as they can. And with this, the XRP ledger for real-world asset tokenization will continue to be one of my favorite use cases. But the more and more custody solutions get built by Ripple, the easier it's going to be for the green god candle of truth. You have to understand that an XRP ETF is on the way. Canary XRP ETF is on the way. This was the second filing for an XRP ETF to go along with Bitwise. And we saw that Bitcoin went to new all-time highs once its ETF launched. And as the market is clearly preparing for an XRP ETF, we have to remember that Grayscale opened an XRP trust, which will lead to an XRP ETF. Bitwise and Canary have an XRP ETF filed. Ripple's Swell conference just happened, with official media partner Eric Balchunas from Bloomberg having attended. Larry Fink was also asked about an XRP ETF on Fox. And Brad Garlinghouse, when asked about an XRP ETF, declined to comment, but hinted that ETFs are on the way. This is in the plans and will be part of the ultimate bull cycle for XRP. The new all-time highs up to even as high as $26 for XRP. And as hard as that may be for a lot of you to imagine right now, Brad Garlinghouse hasn't been broken or shaken. We are pioneering forward. And XRP will be one of the winners in crypto for this cycle.
XRP serves a very compelling use case around payments, given its speed, given its low cost, given its scalability. I think you're going to have a lot of winners in the crypto world. I believe very much in a multi-chain world, and XRP will, I think, clearly be one of the winners in that ecosystem.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, with all that strength and confidence in your mind, with all that being said, and you understanding that you are positioned correctly for this economic transition that is going to occur, especially after this election, I'm going to leave you with one of the most important fireside chats with Brad Garlinghouse that they had at Ripple Swell conference. Thank you to Rob Cunningham for recording this and posting it on Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, he had Dan Morehead, head of Pantera Capital. And here, Ripple really flexes their muscles and showcases what the next stage of the crypto bull run is really gonna be about. Ladies and gentlemen, I've missed you all so much. It's an absolute pleasure to be back. And we have a lot to discuss in the coming days about this digital transformation and this next crypto cycle. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. And as I leave you with this video for today, I would highly recommend you use my discount code for a decent wallet in the description below. If you haven't gotten yours already, you need to update your crypto security and get the crypto wallet with the most options that I love using for the next bull market. Now guys, as always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, everyone. I'd like to say we saved the best for last. Dan, we saved the best for last. I won't take credit for that, but it's great to be here. I'll start by saying this is probably going to be a pretty informal conversation. I've had the good fortune of knowing Dan for a lot of years, and so there's a friendly dynamic that we can talk about and the industry. But first, to introduce Dan, Dan has a very impressive track record and resume at Goldman Sachs, Tiger Management, and then started Pantera Capital, and in 2013 was really the first, in my judgment, first institutional fund to set up a Bitcoin fund. In 2013, when Bitcoin is about $65 per coin, and that means that he's now had about an 87,000% return. And he told me backstage when we were talking about this that he's 9% away from calling it a 1,000x fund. So today, Pantera Capital has about $5 billion under management. They've returned billions of dollars to their investors over the years, so an incredible success story. So what I want to dive into here, hopefully you get the sense Dan truly is amongst the original gangster crypto guys. He's the original gangster. And I remember very vividly when I first got involved with crypto, Dan was organizing a conference called Pacifica. And it was a Bitcoin Pacifica. And it was to host people in the growing community. This is 2015. And I remember very vividly the first time I went into this conference, I remember thinking this is the moment in Star Wars where you walk into the alien bar and people have multiple heads, and I'm like, what is going on? But so I thought, there's some photos from this in 2015 that I dug up when we were preparing for this. And some of you, well, that's Dan on the left up there. Katie Hahn is sitting down there, and you might recognize her because she runs one of the biggest crypto funds. Jesse Powell from Kraken, and all that, some guys from BitFury there, the whole crowd. But what I'd thought to start with is asking Dan, so you started organizing these events. Like, what was your goal in kind of bringing people together so early? And I guess two questions. One, your goal, but also, as we talked about backstage, more than almost anyone I know, you saw around the corner and you saw this trend coming. Like, talk to me about what you saw coming, what happened, and what you got right.
Yeah, thanks. I think the way I got my head around it is there are protocols that move all the rest of the information around the world called the internet. But even in the 90s, Milton Friedman said we were missing an e-cash system. And that's the way I view it, as a way to move value without all these very expensive middlemen. Banks, credit card companies, title insurance companies, they're so, remittance companies, so expensive. And so this seems like it's going to be kind of the final piece of the protocol puzzle that is the internet. And so I got excited about it. And it was a very fringe group back then. A lot of crazed libertarians that want to take down the Fed, and very, very strident views. And I thought it'd be good to get a bunch of people in a room, it was actually my house, and just share views. And we had a very eclectic mix of people. Some incredible libertarians that were so passionate about it, one of whom renounced his U.S. citizenship and left the United States. With Katie Hahn, wasn't a VC then, she was a federal prosecutor. We had
prosecuting crypto.
Yeah, prosecuting crypto companies, people that really hated the government. We had a CFTC commissioner, a Fed economist. So I want to get all this really wild group together just to kind of further the conversation, to help both sides get to know each other. And I really do think things like that are so useful to help both sides understand where they're coming from, and help kind of make blockchain happen faster than it would have otherwise.
What is it? I mean, so you obviously, I agree with that, by the way. Bringing those groups together in those early stages, I think, helped catalyze a lot of kind of forward momentum in lots of ways. But you go back before 2015 Pacifica, and I think I joined the third one, so you'd already done it for a few years. What was it when you first, in 2013, set up Pantera's first Bitcoin fund? What was it that you saw that made you kind of go all in on crypto so early?
Well, when you have a new technology, they try and use an analog to the old. Like SMTP is called electronic mail, And so people call this a cryptocurrency. Some people call it a commodity. It's a payment rail. You can do cross-border remittance on it. It's really the miracle whip of finance, right? You can do so many different things, and all those businesses are so valuable that even if, crypto gets just a couple percent of each of those use cases, it's going to be incredibly valuable. And the total value of crypto at the time was minuscule. I still think it's very, very small relative to all the assets on Earth. It's still a very small single-digit percentage of all the assets. So I've been a macro trader my whole life, and looking for very asymmetric bets, where you certainly can lose some money, but if you make money, the upside's much higher than the downside. And this seemed to me at the time, it still seems to me, the most asymmetric trade I've ever seen. That the upside is just so much bigger, than what you could lose.